what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bunny. Don't try study me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat, you'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious, release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blow me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon, stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn, and I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted, can't copy, printed, can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move, it was predicted. Persistent, spoke it into existence, so consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted. If I rap it, then I live it. There's no cap, and I'll be speaking this.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Colors all around, but I don't see anything but blue. Get lost in the sound, go back to the start. Let's go out of the dark. Let's go out of the dark. Get into the light now.
Yeah. MD. JPB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah, why you mad? I got a bag, bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stubbed, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back.
You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, let's go.
Look. I told Shorty drop it for a real one. Yeah. Go ahead and pop it, let me feel some. Do it for the boy with a bag now. Movie star money making everybody act out. I don't lie to these women. If I want them, then I tell them. Don't get fly for these women. I was born with these propellers. All my haters cannot beat me, so I call them acapellas. See, I'm only getting better. You only get jealous.
You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. You know, I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. MD. JPB. You already know, baby. Yeah. Yeah, I said, I already done it. Everything you wanna do, I already. You know that
Hello everyone and welcome to Drop Point, sponsored by Crack Coffee. I'm HasJC and today I'm joined by my lovely co-caster Bayfish.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be taking you through all of today's Spike Rush action. It's a format we don't often see, so personally I'm very excited about what's in store. But without further ado, I'll hand it back over to Bayfish with the question of what can we expect to see from today's games. Obviously, it's Spike Rush, it's not your standard game of Valorant. Maybe some meta shifts could be in order. What are you expecting to see from today's outing?
So, Spike Rush, honestly, as you just said, it's never played in a competitive environment. It's just sort of the game you maybe play to get a bit warmed up. So probably what I expect is maybe some people just, it's only like a few minutes long, some of the games. And obviously you've got those orbs coming in as well, which you don't get in the normal game of Valorant. So the picks might be a little bit different. You might try and play more towards what orbs you might be able to get, rather than just playing who's a bit meta. And obviously, since maps do go quicker, you'll probably have a better chance to try and pick some different players if you really want to. We're going to be expecting 3 different games today. We haven't got quite the teams yet, but we'll let you know as soon as we get those. But it should be an interesting one. Never seen Spike Rush played in a competitive environment before, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of plays people go for and if they use the orbs differently, because I just sort of shut them out, I'm not really bothered. I'm like, golden gun, yeah, sure, I'll just freaking do it now. But I don't know if they'll use it. I don't know if there is even a competitive Spike Rush community. There might be. Not sure if you've heard one though.
As far as I'm aware, I'm not sure that there is, but yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. As far as I'm aware, normally Spike Rush for me is ground zero when it comes to completing all of my weekly challenges. So we'll see how players adapt to it. I know that it's possible to get your ult up multiple times within the span of one round. And since all players do have a spike on them, we could see this becoming quite an entry meta in the way that players sort of approach the game, because you can plant on any site and an unlimited amount of times. So losing out on the spike won't be a problem for our teams today. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, as you just said, I've completely forgot that all the players have spikes. So I've seen some tactics where people split off onto different points. So obviously, or you could just have a rush because like if you can only kill one person who's planting the spike, then no one could be planted on another site for all you know. But then you've got to think about that. All the ultimates that you can use, or the orbs, even not the ultimates. So you've got the ones that like blind you, you got the ones that like complete mobile use. Then you've just got to be careful. Like you've got to make sure that you're going into it with your own orbs as well. Because if you get a disadvantage with the blindness or something, you're just basically a sitting duck for the enemy team.
Yeah, for sure. I think also maybe something else to consider is that the weaponry we might be seeing today. Lots of choice picks because in Spike Rush, of course, every player has the exact same weapon. You can get a weapon upgrade or perhaps from somewhere across the map. But for the most part, everyone will be using the same guns, which means we might see quite a few shorty rounds throughout these matches today, Odin rounds. So it'll be very interesting to see how the teams navigate these obstacles, whether they choose to group up into sort of a big ball, maybe even on CT side with the guns like the shorty, or if we just see a sort of standard style of play and which ones will really work out more beneficially for the teams.
Yeah, for sure. The type of the gun that you're going to get completely depends on what play you're going to play. I mean, I guess it depends on the team as well. Like some people might think, oh, I'm just going to go on a bit of a shorty flank, but that might not be for everyone. But then with the audience, some people prefer to group up, some people prefer to go in little groups. Personally, I'd like to group up, just hold left click and just fire in the general direction where you think there might be, and hopefully you'll hit them. But the good thing is that some of these guns might tailor more towards some people. So if there's like a round where they're just using shotguns, some people prefer shotguns over the machine guns. So that might tailor more towards some people in that, and it's not like the other enemy team can go, oh, no, I can't use that, so I'm not going to bother buying it. They don't have a choice. You've got to adapt, and that might be what this tournament brings out in some of the players.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be interesting to see. I know sometimes when I'm playing Spike Rush, I'm praying for one gun or another. I think it's actually that you're more likely to get a Vandal or a Phantom when it goes sort of towards those match points towards the end of the game. So it'll be interesting to see maybe your average Vandal player forced onto the Phantom. Will it sort of ignite a spark they didn't know that they had inside them? Or, maybe the Odin. This is a gun that I love to see on maps like Ascent. Really strong when combined with agents like Sova. So, as I said, it'll be interesting to see how these players adapt and what we can really have in store for us today and how the meta has adapted to Spike Rush of all game modes.
Yeah, for sure. I'm quite sure on the timings of when our first game is coming, but it should be around fairly soon. But maybe it's time to speak about our sponsors that you can see below our beautiful heads right here. So we've got a number of sponsors coming in right now for you. So the first one that's coming in, Crack Coffee. These are the guys. You want some gaming coffee? They got your back. And we've got Kinks and we've got Game Show. Obviously, Valorant Esports, they're here for the production, doing an amazing job. Produced by Haribo. They might probably put a command in chat or something like that. So yeah, go check out any of these guys. They're helping out today's production, and if you do need like a little extra gamer juice, Crack Coffee, it's got your back.
Yeah, Crack Coffee's really cool actually because I think we see a lot of like energy drinks circulating around within the sphere of gaming. So having some coffee, it's almost a return to tradition in a way. So yeah, Crack Coffee for all of your gaming coffee needs. But yeah, hopefully we can get into the first game here. I'm not sure who we're against. But if you are playing today, remember to post any highlights that you do get on Twitter using the hashtag CRACKDMoments. And you'll be in the chance with winning a prize. Obviously, we have a prize for whoever our first place finishes today. But if you're feeling cracked, then post in a cracked moment over on Twitter using the hashtag CRACKDMoments. And yeah, also remember to tweet hashtag DropPointEvent and tag us at Valor Esports on Twitter or in chat for your chance for the message that you post to be put on screen. All right. So, any particular agents that you think in particular that we're going to be seeing sort of dominate today? Maybe a Jet or a Phoenix?
I mean, personally, I was thinking more Astra, like, I know she's like the new one, but whenever someone new comes out, you always want to try and play them as much as you can, because especially, like, they probably haven't had a chance to even update it yet, so if there's something broken, they're going to exploit it. And obviously, she's got that massive ultimate wall, and that could just completely, like, section off a whole site. It could section off both sites if you can plant it correctly, so then you could just get both, like, half of your team planting 2 spikes in one go, and it'd be like, well, whoever gets down first, that's where it is, but that could be like a game changer. And then yeah, Phoenix I feel like it's always a good pick, especially with that ultimate where you can just be like, oh, I'm going this way, oh no, that's not actually me, it's just my by fit body, because then you technically have 2 chances at planting spike as well. Maybe you could link that up with like some other agents, see if you can get to the point, and then see if you can be like, oh no, I'm not actually going there. Because we've got Euro as well. He's new. He should be pretty good for stealth missions. You know, his ultimate allows him to phase between dimensions or whatever. So that could be good for like, and also he's got the fake footsteps as well. That could be useful as well, especially if you like want to make it seem like there's more people than there actually is, where it's just you on your own. Yeah, I think we could see some of the more newer agents, but also depends on the newer agents, like with their orbs that there is as well. Because especially with that golden gun, that's a one-shot kill anywhere on your body. So if I was playing Phoenix and I had that ultimate, I'd probably, if I knew the golden gun, I'd bait that out. And then, because it doesn't have unlimited ammo, so I'd try and see if I can get it down, and then hopefully there won't have any left and I can try and make a move.
Yeah, quite a grand battle strategy from you there, Bayfish. But yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting to see the golden gun, actually. That's another aspect of Spike Rush that I'd sort of forgotten about coming into this. So I wonder if maybe there'll be a bit of cheese with that gun, maybe, because obviously it is a one-shot kill to the body or any part of the body, as you said. And Phoenix also being another strong agent. Yoru had a buff in the latest patch, and Viper as well. So we'll see what happens there. But we do actually have our first game of the day, which is Shame versus Vanix esports. So hopefully we'll be getting into that nice and quickly. As you can see here up on the screen, we have the bracket. So we're currently in the sort of quarterfinal stage. You can see Ride or Die, Trident Clan, Team Contact, Gadzovki, Shaman, and Vanix Esports is the game that we're going to be heading on into. But Nplay, GTZ Bulls Talent, a nice long team name there, will be playing the winner of this game. So Shaman versus Vanix Esports. I mean, we've already gone over some of our initial thoughts about this game, but I guess there's not really much more to say before we get into Agent Select. I mean, it'll be interesting to see, really, what kind of comp we see here. Maybe Smokes might be going up entirely. I know you said Astra could be a pick, and certainly her ultimate will be very interesting to see if we're over on Haven, I think, because, as you said before, you can sort of cut off all sight lines, and with there being 3 bomb sites on the map, you can really just sort of take control on attack, especially with all players having possession of their own spike. They can plant wherever they want. And this could pose a very interesting threat for the attacking side. I think this may be more attack-sided, to be honest. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think whenever you play Spike Rush, I think it's easier to attack than defend, because obviously some of the orb, I think the attacking orbs are definitely more, a bit more powerful than defending ones. I know you've got the healing orbs, so maybe this means we might not see like any stages or anything or any skies, because you got that healing orb that just heals the whole team. Like, I know Sage is useful, but if you could just get away with having more offensive characters and then could just use the healing orb, it's probably maybe a better option for some teams, especially if they just want to like go balls to the wall and just like absolutely run in all in one go. But yeah, I kind of agree on that, especially on the 3-point sites, especially with Astra's massive wall. That could be a play. So maybe people will play for ultimates. Maybe some players will just play for the abilities in the orbs. Sometimes I use the smokes just to cut off the orb so you can get it, because obviously there's the places where it's just in the sight lines of the enemy team, and if as soon as you peek that, they know you're going to be there trying to get that orb. So maybe the smokes might be used for a tactical thing, trying to get a good orb if you see it, but obviously you can just still use the smokes just to cut off sight lines as well.
Yeah, I think certainly when I'm playing Spike Rush, you know, the orbs aren't revealed as to what each one does until the round is just about to begin. So you sort of have to map out your strategy for that individual round as opposed to sort of what you have going for yourself in front of you. So, you know, I think most people will be hoping that they receive the ultimate orb, which is the sort of full orb which gives you your entire ultimate. And we can sometimes see that spawn multiple times within one round. So there could be multiple orbs spread across the map, and there are also usually a couple of additional orbs. For example, if you are playing Split, the mid area then has an orb. Similarly to actually in beta, there was an orb in mid on Split, however that was removed. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how teams play this, and how they sort of coordinate their battle strategy in a game mode where it's sort of very much play as you go, and they're sort of having to adapt to it in real time as opposed to having set strats. I can't expect to see too many like default executes in this, but who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe these teams have something up their sleeve.
Yeah, possibly. I think Spike Rush adds that little bit of element of surprise as well, especially if you're just playing normal game of Valorant, you kind of understand what abilities you're going to see. With Spike Rush, that could be any orb on the floor there. The enemy team could get a healthy gem that's going to do nothing to you, but they could get an awesome one, and so the Razor's Rocket could be right in your face, you don't even know. So I think this definitely maybe adds a bit more caution into the game as well, because someone could be right around the corner with a golden gun and take out 3 of you, and you're like, I didn't know that was going to be there. And by the time you've been killed, there's nothing more you can do. So I think maybe teams might play more towards the orbs, but then as you said, you don't know what they are until the game starts. So maybe they'll go for the route where they know there's going to be the most. That's probably the most dangerous. So I think might depend on that, because if there's 3 points, they ain't going to be able to split across all 3. And even if they are, that's some people can take a 1v1 easy peasy, especially with the shotgun. Like, you're just going to be at long range, it's not going to do nothing. So I think teams might just depend on the map, and then they might just maybe pick some smoke characters on maybe on 3-point ones just so to get more orbs, is what I'm thinking is going to happen. But of course, Spike Rush, I haven't seen Spike Rush competitive before. No idea what's going to happen. Don't know if they've even thought about it, or if they're just going into this, they've just turned up on this Friday morning and just gone, hey, we'll just do whatever we want. It's fine. We got this. I mean, it also begs the idea that did people choose teams based on players that have skills in all the gun ranges, or just people that can just use phantoms or whatever? Because personally, I can't really use the shotguns, but there might be some absolutely amazing. We see some amazing shotgun players. Better see that in crack moments. Better see that.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting a lot of split pushes where players are sort of one side of the map and the other. Maybe the bomb goes down on one site when there's 4 players on the other site. So it's almost as if a retake from the attacking team could happen, and sort of that lack of focus, really. And speaking of focus, if you want to stay focused and you're thinking about buying some crack coffee, we had a promo code flash on the bottom of the screen earlier. So if you guys do want to go ahead and get some of that, it's 15% off with the code DropPoint until Sunday the 4th. So there you go. You can use that promo code and get some money off your order. So hopefully we'll be getting into this first game soon. It'll be interesting to see, as we said, some of the guns, some of the strategies, obviously with it being Spike Rush, everyone having their own spike, the orbs that we'll see, which will probably be sort of, as we said, a more of an in-play decision rather than one which is planned before then. So I think it'll just be a couple of minutes before we're getting into this first game now. So I guess that begs the question, any sort of, I don't know, concluding thoughts to this discussion, really? I think it's one that we can talk about for a long time, but until we really see it in action, it can sort of be hard to read what we're expecting here, with Spike Rush being such a, not polarizing game mode, but one that people don't necessarily play, and obviously in a competitive environment, it's not something we're used to seeing. So any concluding thoughts on what you think, any predictions for some sort of meta shift that could be on the cards today?
I thought meta shift might be the more offensive characters personally, especially when the teams probably know there is more of a chance to get healed with that heal orb. And also I think dying in Spike Rush isn't that big of a deal compared to normal Valorant games. Just especially like if your teammate get a golden gun, they don't need to be like a fantastic headshot gamer. They could just body shot them in the leg or something and bam, they're dead. So I think we'll see more offensive comps. Might see. I'm not sure about the smokes one, honestly. I think I just need to see what people are going to play, because I just sort of do anything I want when I play it. I don't really know who we might see. I think we'll probably see Phoenix. Might see Sova, maybe some Cypher, just to like try and scout out those areas, because you don't want to like turn around and then on your left is just the whole team with just loads of Odins on you. Yeah, I think we might see Euro though, just because of his like phasing ability and like the faking ability he's got. Just might make people a bit more scared, a bit more wary, and especially could use his footsteps ability just to see if anyone is watching that orb, and you can just chuck it and be like, oh, I hear him, and then like just shooting at nothing. And you're like, well, no, the next one I'm not going to do it. But yeah, like you said, I think we might need to see it first, because not even sure if these teams play it competitively. I have never played it competitively. I just play it as a little joke and a gaggle. So don't know if you have any more final concluding thoughts. Those are my predictions, if any, which is pretty hard to come up with right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of duelists today. I can certainly agree with you on that. Maybe we even see the sort of pentuple duelist, the five
Mm.
duelist stack, now that Yoru has joined the cast of the Valorant agents. But I'm thinking this will probably be quite dependent on the ults that agents have. So, with how quickly you'll be able to build it up and with those sort of mega ult orbs hanging around on the map, I think we might see a lot of Phoenix and a lot of an agent I hadn't necessarily mentioned earlier, but a lot of Sage. I know that she's a big fan of players sort of throughout the ranks, really. And with her ult being able to pick up another player, and Phoenix's ult sort of casting an additional body on the line for trying to take these bomb sites, I think they're going to give teams a sort of numbers advantage, which they otherwise wouldn't really be able to wield in any kind of normal competitive environment for Valorant. So I think it'll be very ult dependent. Maybe people want to use more Breach, more Brimstone, but these agents which have 7 charges that would normally take longer to rack up, but if you can get it with 1 orb, then it would be a lot much easier for your team to do so. So yeah, I think it'll be very interesting to see, but I'm expecting a lot of duelists as well. And I guess with that being said, there's not really much left to go off here. And I think it won't be too long before we're getting into our first matchup, which is Shaman versus Vanix Esports. Sorry. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in this game, and hopefully we'll get some clips as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember as well, we don't know a lot about these teams. It's not like we brought them from like the best of the best. So there could be some absolute like gold diamonds in the rough here, or there could just be some people never even heard of, but they're absolutely amazing. But then these could just be people where it's just friends having a good time, and sometimes that works out for the best. Like just because you got a professional team doesn't mean they have like the synergy or the friendship to make like an amazing play. But if you're just playing with your friends, sometimes you're just like, oh, go on, let's try this, and then you're like, because you got that trust as well. Like I think in a professional environment, maybe you trust your friends a little bit more than you maybe trust like your professional gamer work friend, because they could be a completely different mindset, but your friends are generally on a similar mindset to you. So I think it will be interesting to see what sort of, maybe if people do take a bit more of a risk if they are playing with friends, or if there is like, or if there's just one player that dominates them all. I feel like with Spike Rush it might be a little bit more hard to see a carry, especially with the orbs coming out. But like you said, I think people might favor towards the ultimates. I was thinking more Razor's ultimate. You could take out like 3 people if you aim that thing correctly. So this could be exciting few hours for us here. And we might see a lot of meta shifts. Maybe some people realize that's not what I want to do, and they'll change it. Or maybe they might just try different things out for all 3 games.
I think we're ready to go into our first game here. So as we can see, we're transitioning over. This is Shaman versus Vanix Esports, and the first map we'll be playing on will be Haven. This is one of the maps we were talking about that could be quite interesting. And here come the agent picks. So as you can see, they've already locked in a Viper and a Reyna on the attacking side. So a couple of duelists already sort of being hovered over, which is what we expected to see coming into this matchup, as well as the Sage on the defending side.
Yeah, and of course we can maybe see a server being picked there as well. On Heaven there is, I don't know if people still do these, but I used to do all these like massive like recon arrows. And looks like both teams do have a recon here, especially with the attacking team going with the Cypher. And I would say Cypher's a bit more of a defending pick personally. But then the defenders got home, and easy to get back into those back lines, especially with that teleport, and especially with the ultimate as well. He could just teleport anywhere, and you're not even going to know where he is. And looks like the attacker's getting a res as well, especially if she can build that rocket ultimate in like one orb, like you said, that could be absolutely deadly. Just fire that onto point or fire it where you think there might someone be. But yeah, no Astra, a little bit surprised maybe. No Euro either. But maybe Spike Rush is a different environment for these characters playing.
Yeah, 3 duelists on the attacking side and 2 on the defensive side. So as we said, that there would be quite a lot of duelist action in these games. However, I think it is maybe surprising that the comp on the defensive side is actually quite balanced. People aren't trying to take a gamble. They're trying to play sort of as the game maybe was supposed to be intended. Also seeing the Viper on the attacking side, actually. This is a very interesting pick now that we're on the new patch. Viper getting a huge buff where if you even touch the Poison Cloud or Toxic Screen, you will receive an instant 50 decay to your health. So that could really shift things up in this match. And we'll see how the Viper's played, actually, especially on the attack for a start. you know, it's not too much of an investment. But on the defensive side, it'll be interesting to see where they decide to set
Spike
up.
rush.
Going into the first round here, it's going to be the Guardian. It's got an image of the judge, and all the players are holding classics. So I think it's safe to say we're on the classic here.
Here.
But maybe the in-game text being a bit confusing. So here we go, first round. And it looks like they're playing heavy towards mid here on the side of Shaman. Hartwig going to put the wall down, but not going to hold the enemy players out for long as they're going to look to full exec into the site here. Darkasan getting the bomb down. Obviously, all players have a bomb. Guyman manages to take down Streamboy, and Nano also takes down Tony Lopez. Hartwig manages to hold steadfast in the site and gets another one to his name. And Darkasan looking to play on this post plant. Might manage to take down one. He does, actually. I think the bomb is halfway ticked, though, and he's run all the way back to spawn. He gets a second! And that Molly's going to land... Is he on the bomb? Oh, he does! He gets a third!
There.
There's no way.
One enemy remaining.
He gets
No.
Darkasan, there's no way he has any right to win this round. He got the stroke, he gets the ace! Oh my god! Darkasan with the 1 versus 5 clutch to win the round for Shaman. I do not believe what I have seen here.
Yeah, I think the attacking team had the right idea going in with the smokes, and you know, ever since I saw Killfeed go for 3 for the defense, I was like, oh, maybe it is a bit of a lost cause. And then Darkasan just started chucking in those Viper grenade things, and I was like, no, surely they won't do that. You know, that's the sort of thing I used to see where he used to use the Sophie used to use the shock arrow. And that was, I didn't realize how much of a buff she'd actually got. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, they've gone straight back in for another execute onto the B site here, though. Clearly being the favourite for them. Guyman with the knives, unable to take down the kill. Streamboy's going to take him down. As you can see, they've got quite a few members in the front of the site here playing inside the smoke. Hartwig trying to spray through and find something, and Snail Juice Will takes down Styles, and with Omen on top of the site, he doesn't quite see anything. Hartwig back inside the smoke, takes down another, but Viper's still alive here, so can we maybe see a repeat of the previous round? And Vanix, they're taking this with a lot of caution. Still
well, yeah,
has
especially if
another
I was the
molly
last
left.
one alive.
Takes down Nano, but will eventually go down. But do they have enough time? No, they don't. He's done it again.
Someone needs to stop this. Surely they must know that is being a little bit dangerous now. Come on, guys. Is Viper beautiful? I think maybe they chose the wrong pick. Maybe Viper. I mean, maybe if the other teams see this game, maybe they'll just end up picking Viper for the rest of the games. I mean, you just can't stop him.
Yeah, Viper being a really strong agent. We spoke about that buff before the game, but I didn't think that it would be anywhere near as strong as this. Darkasan playing really, really well here using that utility. Maybe we can just expect to see another B take come on down. As, we are on the operator this time, so close quarters combat won't be something we expect so much. Nano takes down Darkasan, and that's the game plan. Out of frame, out of mind on the side of the not able to use Viper's strong utility anymore, and maybe that'll have to shake up the game plan for them.
Yeah, possibly. I think you can see they got the operators now, so maybe this might provide a little bit more of a chance. You know, they're able to hold that a little bit more.
Seeing quite a few whiffs come through here as the mid is littered with orb shots. As I say that, Streamboy manages to take down Nano, but will be traded out. Sunset Panda also takes one, Stars takes one towards the C-bomb site, and that looks like that's where they're trying to go. Pops the ult and misses all the knives. Star also managed to take one, spots down Sage on the back of bomb site C, and it looks like Jet is going to dash in here as well, and behind him manages to take them out. Panda trades again, this is just trading backwards and forwards. Oh, what a shot by Panda. That round was very back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're using a gun like the operator, like one shot, one kill, you got to be kind of careful. You know, it could even especially if you can. It's just about who hits left click first on that one. To be honest, I mean, looks like the defending team managed to get it, especially that quick 180 flick there, which I think we're literally just about to see. There you go, beautiful.
Crazy shot there. Looking like they're going for that A aggression here. This time on the side of Vanix. And the defensive team are well alerted to this fact, and actually, we've seen a side swap even. Darkasan is now on the other side, and it's hard for them to be attacking and now getting the bomb down. Tony Lopez from heaven, kind of just
enemy
attack the
remaining.
enemy teammate. Hardtwig eventually goes down, and that was a bit of a round of confusion there on my behalf. Sorry about that. The teams had actually gone for a quick swap on the halves. Obviously, it's only 3 rounds per half on Spike Rush, as opposed to the
Match
standard
point.
12 or so in a usual game. So we're already at match point in this first map of the best of 3. And as you can see, a couple lovely dig shots there from Tony Lopez and Styles in the heaven area. So on the judge now, it'll be interesting to see how they play out these close quarters fights.
I think the attacking team's definitely been more on the short range guns at the point. So maybe this might play more to their hand. But obviously with the Cypher camera there, might be able to stop them out. Oh, there's one.
Green Boy managed to take down 2. Gonna get a 3rd on the round. Can he get the 4th? Not quite. As Nano's gonna sneak through the smoke. Swaps out to another judge. He knows where he is. He gets the flick as well. Out Styles, but he will take him down. And
Defenders win.
that's gonna be the first map onto the side of Shaman there. Unfortunate for the Vanix team. Only able to get 1 round, but this is a huge play from Streamboy. Managed to get the headshot actually onto Hardtwig with that 2nd shot, and then also takes down Snail in the back. Nano unable to quite put in enough work to clutch it out. He was in a 1 versus 4 scenario, but there we see the scoreboard. Darker Sand, really those first few rounds of the game were the difference, I think, in this one. Managing to sort of take control on the attacking side, which had its benefit. And then, a 4-1 win
GG,
for,
guys.
Shaman. There we
Well
go.
played.
We get a little GG in there as well. Okay then, after that first map, what are your thoughts about the agent selection? I know that's something that we spoke about a little bit. Viper there, can we maybe expect to see her played on both sides in this next map?
Well, I think especially after Dark Sand just absolutely obliterated the enemy team with just like one ability, I think for sure we could probably see it. It's literally just as powerful as that Silver Arrow. That used to be so annoying, like, shoot it back up in the end, bam, you're dead by a shock arrow by the time you tried to defuse. I think the Cypher was quite a good choice in there, just because you could place the camera on one side, go to the site, and you can see where the other team are as well. I thought Omen was quite a good idea as well, because you've got those smokes and the teleport ability, which I think could be a little bit more useful, especially in Spike Rush, because we saw it on the first push of the game that we ever saw. They literally chucked down Viper Wall, Omen smokes, and that I thought that was going to work per se. Probably didn't, but they had the right idea, and I think that might be the way to go. Like, especially because if you've got operators, and you don't have any spots, what you got to do? You literally just got to run in as quick as you can, but the chances that the enemy is looking down the sight line where you're going to be is pretty high. So I think a smoke character, definitely. We didn't see too much of Rain. I didn't really see her do much. Personally, didn't really see her impact the game a lot. It seems to be more the smoke characters, like we had Viper and then we had Omen, that I think will get played today, especially for the teams watching the stream. Like, if I saw that on stream, there's no way I ain't picking Viper now. Don't know about any of your thoughts though.
Yeah, no, I think it was interesting to see, actually. There wasn't very much sort of default playing. The teams like to group up into a sort of big bubble on the attacking side and really just go for that one set execute, as opposed to sort of playing the map. So I think it'll be interesting to see, because there's certainly potential for these orbs to sort of be harvested in greater number, rather than what we saw just now, where teams would, instead of trying to play the orbs and get these additional buffs to their gameplay, they just went for the straight push. And on the attacking side of Shaman, it did end up working, really. I'm surprised that Viper managed to put in as much work as she did on the pistol, because it seems like maybe the enemy team weren't expecting it, and they just sort of kept walking into her poison, her snake bite, her Molotov, and taking that damage, which was really interesting. But none of them sort of seem to deal with the problem. So it'll be interesting to see how they mitigate this this round, and maybe if they decide to include a Viper of their own, or if they stick with what they previously had, which was a more balanced comp, I think. And then the 3 duelists, the Cypher and the Viper on the attacking side, really just trying to go for those set executes straight away, instead of trying to sort of play the map, is what I'm trying to get at. So it'll be interesting to see what map 2 is. I don't actually know which map we're playing on. But Haven, one we spoke about, is definitely very open with 3 bomb sites, so it certainly favors the attacking side. It'll be interesting to see if the sides swap around this time, if Vanix maybe have a little bit more luck attacking first, because I think that could be quite a benefit to them in this.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially if you attack first and then you get like 3 up like they were, and you're like, oh, well, they need to win a few more and then we're done. But especially when you're starting from like 1, you've got a lot. You feel like you've got a long way to go, and it's not like you only have to win once. You've got to keep that standard up for a few more games. And especially if like the game decides to choose going like the operator, you got to be so careful because they could take out like 4 of your team in like a few clicks. Didn't really see too much of the orb being used. It just sort of seemed everyone just sort of like hammered on sight. But maybe that was just a map choice. Like I feel like Haven's just got lots of choke points. Maybe you just have to push. But on other maps where we see maybe a bit more of a longer path towards the point, maybe that's what we'll see happening here. And looks like we've got the bracket up for the next game.
Yeah, so Shaman going straight through, actually, I guess it was my mistake. This wasn't a best of 3 series, just a best of 1. So Shaman going through to the semi-final stage versus Mplay's GTZ Bulls Talent, winning their game as a bye against, no opponent. On the top, we can see that Ride or Die and Trident Clan still in their game. It's elapsed for quite a while now, so it'll be interesting to see which one of them goes through. But Team Contact also taking a victory against Gadzovki. So as we're narrowing down on the amount of teams we have, it'll be interesting to see if any of these other teams, especially Team Contact, who have already won a game now, if they're using Viper as well, or if they're opting for a more traditional strategy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we haven't had a chance to see what the other teams are running here. Like maybe some of the teams are running a completely different composition. We don't know that yet, but I'm sure we'll find out pretty soon. I mean, there's a chance that maybe there is like some one tricks on this team, but I don't know whether these one tricks apply in Spike Rush or not. Especially with like the abilities and the ultimates that probably get used a bit more. I mean, I know we spoke about them using Viper, but it's whether that player can use Viper as well as Darker did there. Like, because I could just chuck that on side, but I could completely miss it and overshoot it. So it's about whether the teams have got those players with the skills to maybe pick the characters that work best, or do you just pick the character you play as best at? I mean, obviously you don't want to like all choose like Recon and the healer, because you ain't going to have any duelists to like set up on points or anything. But I think maybe players play to their strengths at the minute, and I think that might be what works for them, because I think it's clear that Darkistan was a bit experienced on Viper, let's be honest. Like they were calculating where that was going on that point.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pre-planning on the side of Shaman there. As you can see, they were prepared to take the B-bomb site there with Viper's utility and then go for it straight again on the following round, using those mollies to sort of stop the enemy team from getting anywhere near the bomb. And it was interesting to see as well, because especially in the second round, the defending team had a lot of picks, but they weren't really onto the right players, because with Viper still being alive, all of her utility sort of lives with her, and that, unfortunately for them, means that they weren't able to defuse the spike even once they had sort of eventually taken her down.
Yeah, I don't really think there's too much you can do against that. Maybe you could get Phoenix chucked down his fire to make him heal through it, but then you got the decay as well. Then she could just come in and like one tap you. So unfortunately, it's one of those things where you just kind of had to wait and kind of hope for the best at the time and worked out best for you. And maybe the best thing to count that was to get your own Viper. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe the teams that are playing in game one, maybe they didn't have a chance to even watch streams, so maybe they won't even bother. But I just think we need to. We've only seen 2 teams play so far, and there's been 7 teams in this whole tournament. That's a lot more. That's how many teams? That's a quick calculator. 35 players. Out of those 35 players, I doubt there's only one person that plays Viper. The game, these people probably played from beta, where there was only a few characters in the game. I'm hoping we'll see maybe like a server main who like do some cool shock arrows or something. Maybe try and counteract that Viper that maybe is coming onto point. I still think we'll maybe see more orb gameplay. Just don't think Haven was the right map for those orbs.
I think we can actually go and have a look at that round now. The retake round onto B, as we have a replay here. And as you see, look, they had the entries into the defensive team sort of had those picks, really. It's a 5 versus 1. And then I think they don't quite manage... Oh, they do manage to get half. But then, see, Phoenix just dies here and runs straight into the molly, which is something I wasn't expecting. I think Panda thought they had an angle. And Darkistan just manages to take down the last 2 with the classic. So it's really interesting to see, I think. Because you sort of oh well, we're into the second game, but as I was saying, yeah, really not being able to deal with that utility there that they had on the side of Shaman. So it'll be interesting to see this time around what TC are able to do to sort of mitigate that problem, and whether Dagestan will be playing that Viper again. As you can see, locks it in, and it's on the side of TC as well. So a similar comp coming in on the side of Shaman. So let's see how this one pans out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think especially this seems to be picking fairly similar comps to me. I mean, we are seeing a Killjoy on the attacking team here, which, you know, might be quite useful, you know, trying to lock out those teams, especially if she can, like, get it for, get the ultimate orb, like we're saying. Looks like we're still looking in the Reyna here. Still haven't seen a lot from her. I think Bind maybe a little bit of a better map to see these orbs played on. You know, a little bit of tighter spaces, maybe a little bit easier to use some of these orbs that we do have in hand. I mean, also we've got the teleports on this map. You know, some people like to fake teleports with Omen. Might be a chance to do that with like Euro's footsteps as well. And people think gone through teleport. In fact, we haven't even moved a muscle.
Spike rush.
We haven't got a Euro or Astra again. So maybe people have realised maybe not the best thing. You know, maybe they're a bit more of a default Valorant pick. You know, it takes a bit longer to use their ultimates. Maybe they're a bit more situational. Maybe Spike Rush doesn't quite have the time limit for the situations to appear.
Yeah, so going into this first round, we see that the two orbs available are ult orbs, and on the Sheriff here, it looks like Shaman are looking to move towards the A bomb site with that screen wall going up. Kingstyle making plenty of space for himself, but he's trying to navigate the enemy utility here because the poison, the toxic screen does so much damage. And Kingstyle's just going to go down without having anything to say about it. Shez getting blinded, but still manages to take down Tony Lopez. And Streamboy also manages to trade one out. And in the site here, this is a really interesting sort of fight that's going on. He's not going to get the bomb down even. Demonial will take him down. Shez also takes down Styles. And now San, in a 1 versus 4 scenario, isn't able to clutch it out this time. So a little bit of change from what we were used to seeing in the previous round. A lot of chaos on the bomb site. Sort of a lot of split pushes, really, from the attacking side.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not really sure what was going on the side of the attacking team here. Like, it sort of seemed like they're all over the place and weren't really sure what to do. Like, we did see Cypher, Streamboy tried to put down, I think, in, like, his special, like, protective field, but, like, that's, you know, where he's going to be. So I think maybe they need to maybe split up a little bit for this one, because I think especially if you know the other team split up as well.
Yeah, Corona manages to get one in Nuka, and they're well prepared for this onslaught. Kingstyle gonna put down the Roomba, but it does get shot out, and these Viper mollies are really dominating the map right now. As we can see, Shaman are grouped up. He's gonna tap the orb, but he's gonna take down Styles, not getting caught out there. And it looks like they might regroup from that pick. Hermes actually has the golden gun, and against these short-range judges, it's gonna do a lot of work. Misses out on the shot there.
Maybe not quite his gun.
This is just an absolute chaos. I don't really know how to cast this even, because on the attacking side, the pushes are just so split that sort of intent that we saw on Haven was lost. Hermes doing a lot of work, manages to take down one with the golden gun, misses the second, but his team just cleans up in that mid area. And it's not looking good here for Shaman. All of that attacking prowess that they previously possessed has sort of been stripped back, and now Mplay holding their own on the defensive side as we go into the first round so far that we're going to see with rifles. Hermes takes down 2.
Yeah, maybe this plays more into the hands of some of the more competitive players. Yep, there we go. You know, some of these players, this is their gun. This is what they use.
And
yep,
there it
maybe
shows.
Hermes gets an ace here, possibly. There's on the stream boy.
Hermes manages to take down 4. Shez gonna clear things up for his team, but Hermes really making the difference here on the Reyna. I know you said last time that Reyna wasn't such a sort of valuable pick, hadn't done so much work, but as you can see here, managing to take those heals off each of the kills, and brings up a huge 4K for his team, and this is not looking for them going into the second half.
No, maybe Shaman, you know, since the last game was a little bit more of a walk in the park, maybe they need to change their mindset a little bit. You know, I think maybe the first they just sort of came in thinking, oh, we absolutely whooped ass on the first game, so maybe we could just relax a little bit. Didn't now realise they can't relax as much.
The Killjoy util into the site, gonna be slowing the push, but they will make their way in from showers. Hermes in the back site, as we said before, all players do have a spike, so he would be able to get it down, but it will go down onto the triple boxes. Molotov, they're ready, but Hermes takes the first kill, and as we said before, on the Reyna, takes the heal. Flank here from Tony Lopez from Heaven, has 3 players in the crosshairs, takes down 1, he knows he's in the cubby, manages to take down Shez as well. And there's 2 players left on the attacking side towards the shower. Will tap the bomb, takes down 1, and now it's a 2 versus 1. Ards takes down Tony. On the low HP here, he's gonna have to swing this. Streamboy playing this smartly. He's gonna have to chase. Ards doesn't have any utility actually for the bomb, but it looks like he's just gonna get on the bomb here. Streamboy peeks out into it, gets the headshot. Does he have enough time? I think he does. Streamboy clutching the round for the defensive side, and Shaman, they finally have a point on the board.
Yeah, maybe this is like the reverse sweep that we're about to see here. It was good players from Streamboy there, you know, he managed to get it, and I think maybe Tony just had a little bit of a stress moment. He didn't quite hit the shots that he was hitting like there, like we just seen him just absolutely obliterate the other team. And of course, like as soon as that overheal's gone, he's down to 35 health, and that's a bit of a dangerous setting for him there. Good job on Streamboy's part though. He did it without any abilities, which is quite useful. And looks like we're going to see the Marshal this time, aka the B-Tech operator.
Yeah, the side of M-Play sort of moving towards this hookah and B-long area, but we see that Shez is also lurking for them. So maybe a teleport play could be on the cards. However, they do get the entry into the site. Lopez from CT, but the ult will be caught from Colonel, and he could go huge here against the Marshals. Takes down 1, misses the knives on the second one. Can he find the third? He does onto Lopez, and that will be the game for M-Play.
Yeah, I think the Marshal's a little bit of a difficult gun there, you know. It's not like a one-shot like the operators. You got to hit a few shots in order to get one. And, you know, and I think Jet using her ultimate there, like, there's Colonel, like, just using the ultimate. He knows those knives are way better than that Marshal he's using right now. And uses that ability just to sit down to open there.
I think Tony there actually had the toxic debuff, so it meant that he was going to take a lot more damage from the side of Coronel there. So a 4-1 defeat, almost a complete mirror of the last game. The dominance that they showed on the side of Shaman has sort of been dealt with swiftly, and we have a new top dog in the tournament so far that we're going to have to keep up with. So very interesting to see here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we thought that maybe Shaman were the top dogs, and now we're looking at this and I'm like, oh, maybe maybe that's not the case. But of course, this tournament will decide who is like the best at Spike Rush in this tournament, you know, and maybe we'll see Shaman come back later if we do a losers bracket, who knows. But I still think Shaman are a good team. I think maybe they just had their mindset shifted when they absolutely just dominated the last team. And, you know, I think maybe they just got into their own heads a little bit, because that's a dangerous thing that can happen. If you go into every match thinking, oh, well, we absolutely butchered the last game, maybe we're the best here. And then you get obliterated, then you're like, oh, well, I don't know what I'll do now. But I think they did change up their tactics a little bit, and it did work. But I just think that TC just were a little bit better, maybe just a bit more of a team, you know, especially, I mean, they all are TC, and then they must play together a lot more than maybe Shaman do. I don't know. We don't know these teams personally. But I think Shaman do have potential if they do come back. They definitely have the skill. I think just TC just maybe outskilled them a little bit just with the way they were positioning and using their abilities.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of confusion here about Shaman and who they've just played. There are some people saying that it was actually Trident, so I'm not too sure what the case is with that, but as we can see, the TC team that were playing showed a very dominant performance there, and I think, as you said correctly, Shaman on the attacking side, their pushes looked a little bit sporadic, didn't try and regroup after the initial push towards Jort had failed, and once again showing the dominance of Viper. I think we could probably expect a nerf from her fairly soon, because I don't think that there was really too many people necessarily calling for a buff in the first place, but this addition to her decay, which does 50 sort of damage flat straight on the point, whenever you touch any of her utility means that she can close off huge areas of the map, almost like a sentinel even. And even the toxic screen just sort of being something that you would usually use to block a sight line, now being such a strong piece of utility to sort of inflict damage on your enemies as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like you just said, no one really asked for it, but I think after this, I'm sure they'll have to look at this and go, that seems a little bit overpowered. Like, especially they're giving her 2 charges as well. If she had just had 1 charge, might be fine. But the fact that she just like chucked another one down, they were like, oh, well, we can't really touch it now, can we? Like, at least with Sova's arrow, you can see that in the air. With this, you just got to wait, sit there and wait. You got to look at it and go, wow, it's like watching paint dry that just on the fall. Like, can't do anything with that. I think we saw them try to use their own Viper as well, but it wasn't quite the same setup as before. You know, Split is a very different map to Haven. There's only 2 points, and the way that the points are set up very different. Haven more enclosed, Split here more of an open site. There's not really many places to like ricochet those Molotovs off, and I think maybe that's where Darken shined, maybe like in the ricocheting of them off. I mean, maybe he just thought, I can just do the same here, but maybe not. I mean, we saw that in the first round. They would put both walls up immediately, and that was absolutely insane to see. But I think that TC just used their walls a bit more effectively. They hid behind it and only peeked when they had to peek. But I think, of course, when you're attacking side, there's a bit more of a pressure to get that spike down, obviously. I still think they should have split off because probably had a bit more of a chance to do that. But maybe they just didn't feel more comfortable splitting off on the run. Maybe staying as a team was a better option for them.
So a lot of Viper, a lot of duelists so far, and I think we're going to go to a quick 5-minute break now. But when we get back, we will bring you our next game, and maybe it'll be the same old story. Maybe we'll see something a little bit more mixed up. But once again, thanks to Crack Coffee for sponsoring this event, and we will see you after the break.
right, baby. Yeah, why you mad? I got a bag, bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stubbed, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, let's go. Look. I told Shorty drop it for a real one. Yeah. Go ahead and pop it, let me feel some. Do it for the boy with a bag now. Movie star money making everybody act.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Drop Point, sponsored by Cracked Coffee, and we are getting back into some of the Spike Rush action. As you saw, we had 2 games played just then on stream, and we definitely saw a lot of Viper being used, as well as the duelist meta that we had sort of previously predicted here on stream. As I am once again joined by Bayfish, we will be going over some of what we saw in the previous game, as well as looking forward to this next matchup. So, once again, Viper. Just basically, it feels like this is almost the Viper show in a way. And some of those moments, actually, you can use the hashtag #CrackMoments and Drop Point event on Twitter to share some of your highlights if you're playing in the tournament, and you'll have the chance to win a prize. So I know we'll definitely see a lot of Viper, and maybe Viper could be that free ticket to the extra prize, as you can see there at the bottom of the screen. So, Bayfish, what do you think about what we just saw? Can we expect to see more Viper? Do you think any of the teams around the rest of the bracket will also be using her? Or do you think maybe we could see a rise in some different sort of playstyles? Because I feel like we've seen a lot of one playstyle so far, which has been running straight into the bomb site, disregarding all of the orbs, and just going straight for it.
Yeah, I think, especially the teams that have used it previously, like, why, as people say, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? So why would you change if you know it works? Especially when you win 4-1 like that. You know it works, so you're not going to change it. I mean, maybe they might change it just to have a bit of fun. Like, if you know you're that good, without getting in your own head too much, why not just mess about a little bit? But then if they're here to win the prize, they're not going to change. Maybe we'll see some more defensive people. But, especially Viper is kind of that defensive / attacky person at the same time. So it's sort of like, who do you think could maybe counter a little bit? It's a little bit difficult to say, just because this is Spike Rush and not normal Valorant. We haven't really seen too much of the new characters that have been added in, so whether they're just not useful, or maybe they're just people haven't found the situation to use them in, I'm not sure. I mean, like, maybe Astra's wall ultimate could be great for that, because of course it does just block bullets and everything as well, so why not? It's just basically a better Viper wall in my opinion, but that's up to the teams and up to what they want to play. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of some of the characters being played a little bit more. We did see some orbs getting played. It was mostly the golden gun though. Didn't get quite see some crap moments with them, unfortunately. I mean, maybe that's just because teams aren't used to like being at a one-shot, one-ammo gun. But as we get into the second game, we're on the third game now. Looks like we are going to see some similar comments. Looks like we've got a raise now though, which we haven't managed to see too much of personally. Oh, and an Astra, thank God. Maybe the teams are listening.
I think the story so far has been that there's always a bigger fish, and each team, while their victories looked convincing, there was always another team waiting to sort of take the victory of their own. And so this one could be a bit of a shake-up. Potentially on the defensive side, if they don't opt for a Viper here, it will be a complete diversion from the story we're used to telling. So obviously we have the Astra on the side of Trident as well, which will be a nice shake-up. And there we see Brimstone, a return to the status quo, if you will. So starting out on the attacking side will be Trident. We've seen that this has sort of been an advantage so far. However, at least on Haven it was last time, but maybe not so much on Bind. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. We can see that there are 3 duelists on the side of Trident, with the defending side only opting for 2. That didn't pan out so great last time, but we'll see how it goes and see how Astra plays into this. An agent that you said you thought would make a lot of difference. So what can we expect to see from Astra coming into this matchup?
So obviously we've got that massive ultimate we've just talked about here. And then obviously she's... I mean, that looks so cool, man. Look at that. You know, you've got all those. Basically, it's kind of like a bit of a one-more combo, isn't it, really, with that? So obviously now she's just put all those down on site, which instantly captures the site for them. Looks like the enemy team haven't quite caught onto it. They're all too busy on B and A over there. But of course, we haven't seen these teams yet, so these teams maybe haven't seen the Viper being played, but maybe that's not what their specialism is. Looks like they're gonna... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, going straight into a 5v5 retake. 3D has the golden gun here up close, but someone's going to need to break that room before him. He won't be the one to do it. Dashes out with a couple of shotguns coming onto spot. Ace managed to take a nice headshot, but Trident 3 trades it out. Goes for the res, and it's absolute havoc here on the bomb site. Tegan manages to take down 2. And Wes 1K also takes down 1 for his aim, and another onto the sky with the golden gun. And oh, he misses the shot, but the defuse isn't coming in. The turret doing the chip damage. This is crazy.
No.
Oh, Roger manages to take him down, but I don't think he has enough time to get the defuse in here. And
maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe that was the plan. I think maybe the panic just got to him a little bit there, you know, like, especially when you've just got, you know, you've only got 1 ammo, you've only got 1 shot and you've got to reload. I mean, that was a nice cheeky one just before the wall went up there, but yeah, I think maybe the pressure got to him a little bit. But, you know, first game with maybe against his team, you know, maybe just warm up their hands a little bit.
Yeah, a few whiffs there from Wes, but ultimately it doesn't matter as he is able to take 2 kills on the round and clutch it out for his team. I think we've gone into a little bit of a pause time here. No, but it's finished up, and we're going to be getting into this this round, which is with the Spectre. So this time the team spread out a little bit through mid, but going straight for those orbs, something that we weren't used to seeing so much. And Yatagan will get the entry into the site, but hell, it's posted up for the body, but will get spotted by the mid-window player. Manages to take him down and takes down Yatagan. Pops the ult, but misses the knives. And now it is a 1 versus 2 retake situation for Intense with the golden gun strapped to their side. Will just get taken down by Raiden on the Spectre. And it is currently 2-0 for the attacking side, Trident. Lovely play here from Hell, but unfortunately it was not enough to help his team.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if he noticed the Phoenix respawn there at first, and just sort of seemed to walk past it without really turning an eye to it. But I think I'm seeing the things from Astra here that I was looking for. You know, she's just putting those smokes down, cutting off all the sight lines. So it looks like we're going to get an Odin round here.
Yeah, lots of spams towards the doors coming in, I'd expect. And I say, manages to take a lovely shot and actually gets the weapon upgrade. So he'll now be on that operator.
Get out of my way.
Those longer sight lines. And there we see the Astra ult. Sky manages to take down Yatagan, and they're going to use this ult to their advantage. Not quite going for the rotate, just repositioning themselves towards the B-bomb site. But now moving towards A, actually, as Roy manages to take down a kill with the golden gun, and Astra's ult's now going to disappear. Sky also getting the res. And it's now a 5-on-3 situation, and the attacking side are looking neutered here. Roy managing to dodge to the ult. Gets another kill with a golden gun, taken down by 3
30
eventually.
seconds left.
Yeah, I'm not sure what trying to go here. They just have all split off in different directions. Don't think they're really sure what to do. Looks like Astra's going to place down maybe some... Just think about it. What's she doing?
She's got her ult up again, actually. And a second. Wait, I think she's used her ult 3 times this round, actually.
Well, looks like that ult's gone into their favor. You know, there's only one. There's only Trident 3D now. Oh, and he meets the Odin head on. You know, I mean, he's got some knives, but he's not quite no Genji in this game. Unfortunately, can't quite collect them all. So they will have time to defuse the spike this time.
Yeah, 3D trying to play a little bit more aggressive there to sort of fight back against the Killjoy ult, but unfortunately not able to do anything about it. I thought we saw like 3 Astra ults that round. It was really who dominated mid, but something we spoke about earlier, people opting to use the res on the side of Sage, actually being very useful, managing to bring it back to a 5 versus 3 scenario after losing that initial pick. And on the frenzies now, we can see that it's another split push sort of towards this mid-C area. Shock Dart's going to do some damage. 3D managing to take down Roy, and Ace trading one back for his team. Ace now in possession of that golden gun.
Yeah, it looks like Phoenix tried to flash there, but didn't quite push on it, which was an interesting thing. Not sure if he just tried to scare them a little bit.
Huge pick from Raiden, managing to take down Ace, and I think that gives him the golden gun as well, actually. Quite a few players have been spotted out on C long, but the rest hasn't quite come in. ESA doesn't need it, takes down one. Sky does trade it out, and Yatagan not really spotting anything here, but the wall does go up on the correct side of it, takes down one, but Hell will trade it out with the knives. And Raiden, that golden gun, that's what makes it such a huge pick for his team. He manages to pick it up, the flank eventually comes in, and he can clean it all up.
Yeah, like I said, if you can use that golden gun, it's probably the best gun in the game, literally. I mean, we did see in the first round, a few whiff shots from there, but if you can hit those shots, it literally could be a turning point for the team. I mean, of course, maybe the frenzy didn't play quite into people's hands. Maybe just not really the people's gun. But let's hope we're going to get another a judge here.
3D opting for that aggressive play to instantly get their ult online, and will be pushing the window area, misses the knives, and will be punished for it. Roy also able to get the golden gun in mid, and there's an aggressive play here from Raiden. Has to take down the turret. Gets taken down by the turret. A couple of trades in mid for Trident, but they're still on the back foot here. And it looks like M-Play are just going to make their way on over to the A-bomb site with the Killjoy nades for post plant.
Spike planted.
And now it is a retake scenario. Yatagan unable to find Sage on long. They're trading martial shots, but none of them are seeming to connect so far. Oh, pot by Raiden. And he's chasing. Will eventually get it, or Ace, sorry, onto Wes. And now it's Yatagan in the site by himself. Ace, 3 kills on the round. Huge from him. And that will be it.
Yeah, not of course the Marshal's not the strongest gun in the game, but it does fire fairly quick for a sniper rifle. That close support there, but that turret just proving to be a little bit of a pain in the backside. Marshall, as I just said, not being the strongest gun in the game, so it does take quite a few shots to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think we're on the Guardian now. See somewhat of an aggressive play come towards the mid area, but will be ultimately shut down. Have his ult removed, and Intense manages to find a shot through the wall, and the picks are all going in the favor of M-Play here. Yatagan looking for a flank to try and even things out. Receiver gets the
player standing.
golden gun. Another third to his name. 2 kills left to secure the 1v5.
One enemy remaining.
Those one is.
Oh, beautiful!
Oh my God, Raiden with the 1 versus 5. That's the second time we've seen a play like that so far in this tournament.
Yeah, get that onto a hashtag crack moments, drop point event. Yeah. That's what we need on there. That one just threw well there. That's just a bit of luck. I don't even think the enemy team were expecting that right there. That collateral as well.
It's almost through the shoulder of Hell there. You didn't think that they were lined up perfectly, but manages to take down 3, and then it's just drip fed onto their lap. Raiden manages to get 5 kills on the round with the golden gun to secure it for their team, and it's a dominating performance from Raiden on the side of Trident there. 4-2 win, not as steep of a scoreline as we were expecting to see, at least with the 2 4-1s in mind, but yeah, another dominant performance. And as we said, there's always a bigger fish, so it'll be interesting to see how these teams play out against each other as we get on with the rest of the tournament. So what are the main takeaway points from that game, do you think, Bayfish?
the golden gun's a bit overpowered, and if you can give it to the right person, it's an unstoppable force. Like Raiden obviously showed that if you can handle that golden gun, that is the best gun that you can get. Personally, I thought it was a bit rarer than that, but seemed to get it every single round. So maybe their play there was get that guy the golden gun and we win. I mean, maybe I don't think maybe he expected to get the ace there, but obviously he was very confident with it. Like as I said in the first game, that just absolutely whiffed every shot. But then maybe they got more comfortable with it. Maybe they just figured out okay, don't need to rush it. It's not quite no machine gun. Can't quite adjust my aim. It's just I got to line it up, left click, and we're done. I kind of like the use of Astra there. I actually think Astra was quite effective. You know, she put, as you said, I think she got that ultimate 2 or 3 times. And that wall ain't no small. That's a big wall. And I think they use that to cut off Seaside, which is probably more useful for them because they know that not that no one's going to be able to shoot them from that side. I mean, I was a little bit surprised that Trident made an aggressive push as they did because they always seem to be a little bit outnumbered and then we're like, oh, we're like 3 down, let's move to A. But I think the enemy team didn't expect that, and it got to the point where they didn't have time to move over and they had time to set up. Especially on the Marshall round, they had one of them in the back, one of them in the front, and then obviously Raze just went in with the ultimate and just chased after them. So I think Spike Rush is so hectic. I don't even know what to take from it because I can't say stick all together because Radiant did it so well splitting up after they lost 3, but then some of the teams worked together on one point. I just don't know what to say. I just a good job on their part. I think Golden Gun was their winning play though, and just their individual skill. Don't know if you have any remarks you want to make.
Yeah, I think the Golden Gun was almost the play of the game from their side, and we saw a lot more of the orbs coming into use there actually on both the defensive and the offensive side. They really wanted to sort of bust out as much utility as they could to try and secure these orbs at the beginning of the round so that they then had a better chance of sort of winning the rest of the round as it played out almost. So that mid area was very, very hectic. I know we saw quite a lot of jet ults coming out on both sides, trying to get those orbs under their belt so that they could wield those knives and do as much damage as they can. Unfortunately, I don't think as many of those shots landed as we were maybe hoping, at least on the side of GTR. I think that wasn't as great a play for them, but obviously the Golden Gun as well being very instrumental to the win on the side of Trident there. So it'll be interesting to see if other teams want to try and play these orbs a little bit more. I think it comes into factor a lot more in Haven, where it has this dedicated mid area as opposed to a map like Bind, which we saw before, which sort of has 2 split areas, short and coming up towards Hookah. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens. But so far, I'm liking it. It's a shift to the meta. It's not that sort of Viper that we had been so climatized to in the first few games. So it'll be interesting to see how these 2 distinctive styles combat each other and which one ends up taking the victory for drop point. So I think also, if you guys do want to get some of that cracked coffee, we do have a discount code for it, for drop point, especially for this event, as well as the cracked moments hashtag, as you can see there. So if you are playing in the tournament today and have any moments to share with us on Twitter, then at Valor Esports, use the hashtag cracked moments and drop point event to share those moments with us. And as I said before, we also have a promotional code for Crack Coffee. If you do want to buy some, you can use the drop point code so that you can get 15% off of your order. So as you can see that down below, hopefully we'll be getting into the next game fairly soon. But yeah, thanks to Sarah there with the little message as well. If you use hashtag crack moments, you can also send a message to the stream and have it pop up at the bottom. So if you guys want to, you can do that in Twitch chat or on Twitter. It's up to you. Thanks to our other sponsors, Valor Esports, Kinks, and Game Show as well. But yeah, interesting map there. Really a nice change of pace, honestly. I was kind of fed up of seeing for as much Viper as we had been. I mean, it's a nice change to the agent, but at the same time, it's nice to have a break and be talking about something different for once.
Yeah, I did especially enjoy seeing that new character there, Astra, that we haven't particularly seen a lot of. I thought we would have seen a lot more, personally. I think maybe the enemy team on that could have been a little more aggressive, just because we saw Phoenix flash right. I just sort of let it happen and he didn't push. He just sort of was like, oh, I'll just put it out, see what happens. And he didn't make any moves on it, even though he knew they probably would be blind. So I think takeaways for that team, just be a bit more aggressive. You know, it's only Spike Rush at the end of the day. You got the time. So I think maybe if you're on defense, maybe you need to push up a little bit further. You know, get those orbs for yourself rather than let them for the enemy team. I mean, obviously that depends per map, because there's going to be places where the orbs are so far like in the enemy, like you don't want to go down there. You won't make it back in time. But of course, you got to remember that some of these orbs maybe aren't as useful to some of the teams. Like the healing orb isn't useful unless your team have taken damage. But these team fights seem to be like so quick and so hectic, no one has time to go get that orb. So maybe, I mean, that's just from my experience anyway. Maybe this is a completely different environment. I mean, as we've seen, some of these players are highly skilled, especially with that golden gun that we've just seen. So I'm hoping that maybe some other teams will realize that the golden gun, I mean, I'm sure they know it is amazing, but maybe try and get someone that may be good with the operator, because that's like a one-shot gun. If they're good with that, they're probably going to be good with the golden gun. So I'd say try and get that in. And I'd say, I think Astra, maybe I'd prefer Astra over Viper. She's nicer to see, rather than someone just like eating a Molotov in, and I'm like, okay, now we've just got to wait for them to walk on it and die. Like, I like seeing the wall go up. I like seeing the smoke. I also like seeing the killjoy, with the turret, as well, as annoying as it is. It is essentially like having like a little annoying kid running around. Well, not running, it's just sort of sits there, but it's nice to see it. And of course, she's got the nanite grenades as well, where she can activate them on the spike, which I'm surprised we didn't see more of, but maybe that's because they didn't know where they were going to plant quite yet. But I think more killjoy could be something that we might see.
Yeah, I think we sort of failed to get into some kind of grand post-plant scenarios as it ended up being. There were a lot of opportunities where that didn't end up happening because, that Swift retake came in. It was a 5v5 retake on the first round, I think. An interesting dynamic to also consider about Spike Rush is that we don't see pistol rounds, because we're just going into whatever gun it ends up being straight away. I mean, there is a pistol round in the form that I think the first round is usually some kind of gun that's a pistol. So we saw a Sheriff there, classic the time before. But either way, we're going to be getting into our grand finals, I believe, which is a best of 3 match. It will be Trident, which we saw win just then, versus Endplay GTZ Bulls Talent. I think we've seen them pop up a couple of times on the stream so far, but I'm not sure if they were named correctly. So I'm hoping that this time around this is the real Endplay GTZ Bulls Talent, and we'll see how they perform against Trident, which it is. I've just been given confirmation. This is the Endplay GTZ Bulls Talent versus Trident Clan in the grand finals of Drop Point event Spike Rush. So this will be the grand finals, and it is a best of 3. So it'll be interesting to see how teams play around these 3 maps instead of just the one, and try and maybe adapt their team comp. And we'll also see probably one more map than we have originally, because we've only seen Haven and Bind so far. So there'll be a 3rd map coming up as well. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these teams have also had a chance to try out characters on maybe 2 or 3 maps. Maybe they've found some characters that don't work on these maps. This is their time that they can change that. And especially since it's best of 3, there's a chance that they'll probably get a chance to change it up as well. So if they decide, oh no, I don't think that's working against this team, they can just change it up. Because if they see the team that's running like the same thing every time, they can pick some things or characters that maybe counter it a bit more. Of course, a little bit harder to Spike Rush because they could get the golden gun. It doesn't matter who you play. If you can aim, you're going to win. But of course, we also haven't seen Split yet. Split, I feel like it's a little bit of a different map, especially it only has an A and a B point, but I feel like Asher's ultimate could just, especially on B point, could just completely wall off that balcony and that alleyway, and you're going to feel a lot more safe planting your spike down on there. Hopefully we'll get into the game soon so we can see what map we're playing on and what sort of picks we're going to see. So I can't remember if we have actually seen what they call Endplay GTZ. Is it like Endplay? We'll call them Endplay.
Endplay
sounds like a 90s band. That.
Yeah.
So it looks like they are ready to go, and looks like we're going to be on a map we haven't quite seen yet, and a map that I mostly associate with Spike Rush. Just because I seem to get it all the time, but I don't know if that was just when the bug was out or whatever. But I think Ascent maybe is a little bit better. Of course you've got the balcony that can go down. You can put that. You've got some doors you can put down as well. Of course they're breakable, but you can put some smokes over there as well. So now obviously you can see we've got Endplay on the left and Trident on the right. Trident, I feel, are a bit more of an attacking team, but of course we are going to see the Astra here, and I think that worked well for them last time.
Yeah, Trident looking to just pick a similar comp to as they had last time around, but on the side of Endplay, favouring that Viper once again, locking it in already and having the breach as well. So the comp's looking fairly similar to what we saw before. Ches choosing to go for the Omen instead of the Brimstone this time around. But on the side of Trident, we have almost 3 duelists here that they look like they might be ready to lock in. Maybe going over some last battle strategies before we head into this map. Only 30 seconds left before we get the grand finals underway. So yeah, Astra on Ascent. It's an interesting pick. I think this is one of the maps that she's certainly better on. Haven being another one of those. So maybe this is a pick that favors Trident a bit more. And starting on that attacking side, I know Ascent isn't normally favored to be an attacking map, but in Spike Rush, with so much on the line and just being able to go in and have that spike on any player without, losing it to the ground, then I think that this could be to their benefit. So it'll be interesting to see how this one pans out.
Yeah, interesting to see that end play have gone for. They've got Jet and Omen here, who both has their spikes, but of course, but on the opposite side, we've got Astra, who has spikes, but then so they're not quite as. They are kind of like Omens, but Omen has his teleport as well, where Astra just sort of flies up in the air and can just sort of put them down. So it kind of depends what sort of thing they're going for. Of course, Astra's massive ultimate, as I keep saying. I just think it's such a great thing to Spike Rush. You can just basically just corner off one of the points, and you're going to know where they're going to come from at some point. Looks like we're going to go for a quick frenzy round here, which of course will imply some close combat, which I feel like some of the teams aren't too comfortable with. Obviously, as we've seen, like some people using the Judge, and I think even still they decide to go for a little bit more of a long-range battle just because of how dangerous it can be.
And yeah, it's that combination of utility we see here towards Short on the side of Trident, using Astra's pull ability with the nade, and they're actually going to cast out the Lone Wolves and go for a short play here. 3 or 4 players towards Short, looking like they're running towards Spawn. Shez going to get taken down by that golden gun again, and Hermes as well, but Coronal and Ards in the spawn holding very strong for their team, and it looks like they're not even going for the Bonekamp here, but they will eventually get it down. Raiden with a lovely shot. Misses the second, but has plenty of utility available. He does hit the third, though. And Demonio, by himself, he's sort of stuck within a triad of players. Does get the golden gun for himself now, though. Flash coming out from backside. Gonna just try and slow him down, and Yatagan does eventually take him down with the attackers getting the first round on the side of Trident.
Yeah, I think the frenzy maybe doesn't quite play into some of the hands I know, but especially with that golden gun, that just does allow for a little bit more long range. Like this, I think she peaks for like 1 pixel here, and then she's gone. I think the golden gun is kind of acting like just a big, like more of like a silent operator there. But I think both teams definitely more evenly matched than I thought they were going to be. I didn't really see anyone dominated. I still think they could hold their own.
Lovely shot there from Creed, and Wes will also take down one, but the trades are going backwards and forth, and it's already a 3 versus 3 scenario. ESA having some sort of idea where Viper is towards Short, so opting to go for the shock dart and then also sending out the Lone Hunters, combined with a lot of utility on the side of the Trident, actually taking this A-bomb site. The Razor will be popped, but it's too late. Yatagan's already taken the kill in his own ult, and now actually has a lurk towards Short. Might be able to catch out Shez here. He doesn't. Shez does take him down, but Raiden trades things back out again, and this is looking tough for Shez, especially on the low HP. A 2 versus 1 scenario, but if he can find Raiden, there's still a chance. Raiden does spot him out though, and that's 2 on the board already for Trident, carrying their reign of dominance onward. And it's a couple of early picks in the midsection, really sort of opening the game up for both sides early on.
Yeah, I think trying to here, I think they're just playing a little bit more to the angles that they know they're going to be. I'm sort of like, I think Mplay do definitely have the skills and ability. I just think they're trying to just hold the better angles. Looks like they're going for like maybe here and yeah, I'm not get any of those shots there, but
Freed manages to take down 2 actually. The Guardian favouring that more precise gunplay, but it's been body shot city so far. Wes holding some kind of alert. His teammate makes it towards me. Takes down the first.
Player standing.
Quite unable to get the second onto Hermes, but Yatagan will know all about it now, as he does get a nice free kill. And Viper coming out of her ult is going to be in a retake scenario. It is a 1 versus 1. Mplay with the opportunity to get their first round on the board. Has a poison cloud, so could do quite a bit of utility damage if she chooses. But it
Yeah,
looks
well-
like Phoenix is just going to be playing carefully from the back site here.
Yeah, this is where he played last time. Of course, if he still has his flashes online, he can just flash and, you know, it's probably going to hit the whole point. Yeah, there you go. There's one. And there you go. There it is. Of course, for us, like, as observers, we can't see, like, what they can't see. But, of course, you got to remember, they can't see anything where they get flashed. So it's pretty much just sort of praying that they can't hit their shots there. Here's a quick replay from Jet's point of view. Didn't manage to get anything, but Ches got her back there. And they managed to take him down. Nice headshot there, but then not really what happened to W3 there.
Yeah,
Managed to take it
you're
down
taken,
Reyna.
able to clutch out the 1 versus 2 there. So going into the next round, heavy aggression towards B main at the start of the round. Reed actually doesn't manage to take down anything, but Trident, ESA managed to get 2 kills with the shot darts. And this is where those satchels are going to come in handy. Raiden nice and close to the smoke there. Free takes down another one. And that's going to be
Defenders
it.
win.
4-0 in the first map. Free takes down multiple there eventually, but not long after his team had pushed. So this was an aggressive play from the defending side. And you see there as well, actually, I think it was the tracer shells from one of the orbs. That's the ability you get there. So no real way that Corona could have ever escaped from that. So a very dominant first showing. So you start to wonder here, Mplay, if they can't pick up this second map, then that'll be the series done and over with.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, you got to remember, we didn't see really any machine guns. We didn't see a Vandal or a Phantom in that. I mean, we got to see your shorty round, which was hectic. You know, especially with only that 2 ammo in the magazine there. You know, if you missed both those shots, you've got to reload, and that gives the enemy a chance to kill you. But as I said, maybe we just haven't seen the gunplay that they go towards. I mean, of course, we had the Guardian, but of course, that's still not quite a machine gun. So maybe their thing is the Phantom and the Vandal, or maybe even an Odin. That we haven't quite seen. The Odin one was quite aggressive. I mean, now they've got a chance to change up the agents if they want. You know, now they know what Trident are running. Maybe Mplay will change up what they're playing. Because I think, of course, they've got the Phoenix on the point all the time. So maybe they'll try and bring their own Phoenix on board, or if they'll try and bring a little bit someone else on board. Maybe they'll bring a Brimstone or a Breach. You know, just try and catch out that Phoenix a little bit. Because I think we saw a few times the Phoenix just sort of clutched it with that flash. And I think maybe they could do with their own Phoenix, potentially.
Yeah, interesting to see a combination of the utility there as well. Astra being quite key in a few of the different pushes that they were making. And you would think that Nplay would be able to do a little bit better holding their own in that sort of area outside B, the tiles area, considering that they had crossfires set up. They would have been able to kill the enemies as they came in. But ESA on those shock darts doing a lot of work. But we will be getting into the second map here, which will be Bind. So it's another repeat of a map that we've already had. Yet to see any Icebox or Split so far in the tournament. But Bind will be the next map. So it will be interesting to see if they decide to hold true to their strategy for this game. Or if on the side of Mplay, we can actually see them trying to mix things up a little bit and maybe get back at the side of Trident. And either way, this map is going to be pretty tough for them, because if they don't win, then Trident will be our drop point champions. So the next map is Bind, and hopefully we'll be getting into that very shortly. So Bind's an interesting map. Do you think that the comp is going to be changing too much here on the side of, well, either team really? But no, it looks like they're opting for a pretty similar comp, except Wes does actually pick the Sage on the side of Trident, so they're not opting for that Astra anymore, and you're taking maybe going for a Yori here.
Yeah, potentially. It might be nice to see him. You know, we haven't seen him yet. I really hope he does pick him, but of course, Mplay are just sticking with what they know. You know, maybe Bind, you know, some players played better on different maps. I think maybe Viper might be a little bit of an easier play for the Viper to play on here, potentially, and maybe for the Omen as well, you know, especially with these teleporters. I want to know if Yatigan's going to play. Oh, please pick the Euro, man. I want to. Okay, never mind. We're going back on the Phoenix. Never mind. Worth a shot. Even though Euro does have those flashes that can bounce off the wall once, maybe that's just not his thing. So as I said, we'll be seeing the same compositions that we've seen last time, but of course now just on a different map.
Yeah, and on the side of Trident, actually, they do have 4 duelists. So it's the duelist meta versus the Viper
Spike
meta almost.
rush.
But without Astra having those abilities to combine with their teammates, it will be interesting to see how we see some players like Raiden using their abilities. Because Astra was almost the key to the chess that was their nade ability there. But on the side of Mplay, we do also have the Breach and the Jet combo. So starting out into this round, it looks like Raiden will actually be taking that aggressive play and getting their ult online early, but not before Free takes down Hermes. An important pick there on the defensive side. Demonium Blind manages to take down ESA, but Yatagan will trade it out as well. And with the res coming in, it is a 5 versus 3, so Trident looking strong here as ever. Chronal does take down one, West will trade it out. Chronal gets another, Shez does as well. Chronal gets 3! And it's been flipped totally on its head. Raiden all by himself with all of the work to do. And he will be chasing Chronal here. Oh, does manage to take him down through the wall. And it's a 1 versus 1 scenario in this first round of
30 seconds left.
Shez faking the TP, but Raiden flies into the bomb site. The star player on the side of Trident does have that weapon upgrade, so Shez will have his shots, does miss, and Raiden cleans up. So 1-0 to Trident, and this is looking really bad on the side of Nplay here.
Yeah, I think, we tried to see that pet TP coming out of there, but I think that weapon upgrade just was the deciding factor there. And as we saw, this bit was hectic in the mid here. The clean shots there coming through, but you see Colonel there just like using Jet's ability just to do a quick 180 swift there, and I think that kind of won it for that, but that was unfortunate on the side of Mplay there, just getting that through the wall, thinking you're safe, and then, oh, no, there comes a bullet, hits you right in the back, and that's it for you.
Hopefully they don't take the knock to the confidence, but on the Bucky round here, they're going to be the distraction they need, actually. ESA, 3 players in his crosshair, flanks, manages to find 2, can he get the 3rd? He does! The 4th misses the shot, goes to the knife, takes it down for the ace, misses the right click, but Yatagan will take him down, and this is going from bad to worse on the side of Mplay. That aggressive play from Raze on short, really diverging away from the real threat being ESA on the Bucky. After the nerf, still manages to do a lot of damage, and eventually swaps the knives. Unfortunately, isn't able to take down ESA. I don't think it would have taken very much, but Hermes on the side of Mplay, but we're on the Odin round now. Raiden going straight to the ult, traded instantly out. ESA will also trade out his comrade, and once again, same old story. Trident in the lead.
Yeah, I think Trident just playing the angles here that maybe Mplay aren't ready for. We saw that Jet go around the back. No, they weren't ready for that. They just thought it was going to be a push from the front. So I think maybe Mplay need to maybe pick up some tactics for the run. He's just holding the angles again, and
that's lovely from Coronal there. He seems like the only respite in this onslaught from Trident, but it could get from bad to worse as Yatagan is posted up with his crosshairs set on Demonium, but he does take him down, and fortunately for him, it is the first round on the board for this attacking side going into the second half.
Yeah, we've only seen a few ultimates being used. Of course, we saw Razors there just in the replay, but now, of course, we've got Breaches one online, which could completely immobilize like half the team if they know they're going to be there. Hopefully, we'll see a few more abilities coming out. I mean, we've seen like basically Jet use hers. Maybe we need some smokes coming in from Omen. Looks like we're going to be on the Guardian round again. Sorry, Ghost. So the G. But no, this pistol. Sometimes you choose a pistol round.
Free taking a little bit of damage from Coronal there. There's 3 players towards B long, and he's going to get punished for his aggression by Yatagan, and we saw Raiden take the ult of outside Hookah, managed to take down one actually, but Coronal and Hermes trade things back. And on the side of A actually, Shez is also going to go down. It's chaos everywhere, but Coronal and Hermes managed to take another 2 picks amongst them, but as we said before, everyone has a spike in Spike Rush, and Yatagan will get that bomb down over on the A side. Both team members going for that retake, so interesting. 2 versus 1.
Yeah, still got his fastest hero as well, and he's just used his ultimate soon. I think he got 2 chances of this.
He finds himself, technically. Let's take down Coronal, but I think Hermes is ready and waiting. That is a lovely play there from him to sort of deny any further damage from his body. And that's the second round on the board here for Mplay, and you start to think that they're down but not out yet.
Yeah, I think they're finally trying to. I think they're catching on to what Trident are doing here. You know, that was a lovely rocket shot coming in there. You know, you just see like both of them peaking at the same time. You know, that kind of helped them a little bit. So I think maybe Mplay just using a little bit of Trident's medicine against them, and of course, Hermes knew exactly where he's going to be. You know, there's not too many places where you wouldn't do it out in the open. Also, we're going to get the Bulldog out again.
Very close rounds. More of that aggression, actually, but this time from Mplay, it doesn't pay off for them as Trident are able to take both kills in that matchup. And it's a 5 versus 3. Chrono has managed to take down one, and with that stage wall up, it's going to do huge work. Shez also manages to take down Raiden, but Yatagan, once again, on the A-bomb site, going to get the bomb down. And Freed is in a big lurk situation. Has 3 players potentially that he can push up onto, and Yatagan also going to see if he can do anything here. Hopefully he doesn't use his flash too early, as it might alert the players to his position, but quite well actually. Doesn't manage to take anything, and it's just going to fall back to Lamps. ESA holding heaven, but the bomb is ticking here, so there's not much time to do the work, but that alternate fire is going to be huge. Coronal manages to trade one out, and ESA taking him down. 3 kills on the round for that player. Trident 3-2 up here. And going into the last round on the Vandal here, at least match point for them. I mean, what was this in mid?
Yeah, Spyro seems to get a little bit head to key. You know, Bulldog's an interesting one. Like, do you use it on burst mode or just use it on like full auto mode? And of course, like no one, of course, you forget that Jet can like fly up in the air sometimes. She was going to be on top there, and as soon as she took out those knives, you ain't going to do nothing against her with that Bulldog unless you headshot her instantly. But of course, as I said, Randall, there you go. Okay, I think it's most what so.
Oh, and the first pick goes the way of Trident once again. Chrono manages to take down a kill in the site, and another. But it's a 3 versus 1, and unfortunately, Trident are going to win the round. There's nothing that he can do about it, and Mplay do eventually fall, and it was just the same old story, really. Yatagan managing to take both of those first entries on the round towards the A bomb site, as his team did all of the work towards B. Coronal really putting in most of the work for his team there, actually finishing the game 13-5, but the player with the next amount of kills, Hermes, only having 3 to his name, so a bit of a disparity there, and unfortunately for them, they aren't able to win this this best of 3 series, which means that Trident are your drop point champions for this Spike Rush tournament.
Yeah, absolutely amazing plays from Trident. They, you know, I think they knew what they were doing coming into this thing. The thing I'd like to point out is that on all the scoreboards we've seen, the top player is the team with the top players also has the bottom player on the scoreboard, which maybe implies a little bit of imbalance, maybe a little bit of carrying going on. You know, I just think that maybe Trident just played a little bit more into their own hands with the abilities. I didn't really see too many. I don't feel like I saw too many abilities coming out or ultimates coming out from Mplay there. And I think maybe that's where they got let down a little bit. You know, like we saw the Jet using her ability just to get on top of all those like different environment locations, just to get a more top-down view. And of course, when you play Valorant most of the time, you just look straight forward. You never really bother looking up because no one's ever going to be there apart from Jet. So I think maybe there's a little bit of maybe just a little bit of fault on their half, but of course that's just a sneaky Jet play you're gonna get happen there.
Yeah, I think a lot of that carry potential funnels into the duelist picks on both of the sides there. I mean, Trident, obviously they had 3 duelists, I think, 4 even, and then on the side of Mplay, Coronal doing in huge work there actually with sort of 13 kills to his name. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough for their team. And yeah, I think really just the way that Spike Rush works, especially being able to feed so many orbs, it does feed into those offensive players, you know, being able to use the knives and what have you. But it just seemed that the raw aim of Coronal was what carried them over the line, taking a big 3k one round with the Deeg, a couple other rounds just chipping in with big kills for their team. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough to get them over the line. So your champions for today in Drop Point will be Trident. And I'd like to thank our sponsors quickly to Crack Coffee, Kinks, Cyprus Game Show, and Valor Esports for making this event happen. Another reminder, there is still prizes to be won. If you post any highlights that you get from the games on Twitter using the hashtag #CrackMoments, you are in chance of winning, or you'll be in with the chance of winning a prize. So get those moments in. We saw plenty of crazy plays today, some 5v1s, some mad clutches, some flicks, all of that crazy stuff. And if you want to just tweet Drop Point Event and tag Valor Esports on Twitter, you could get your message featured on screen, but I doubt there's much time left for that. Also, Valor Esports merchandise, there's the potentiality of that. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to follow us on all of our socials and keep up to date with any future events that we may be doing. But yeah, once again, thank you to Crack Coffee for helping to sponsor this event. And you can also use the code DROPPOINT to get 15% off. This is valid until midnight on Sunday the 4th. So you have all of this weekend to get your orders in, get as much coffee as you need to sort of supply your gaming needs. And without further ado, Bayfish, any concluding thoughts on what we have seen this afternoon?
Just amazing place where, this is not really a tournament that most people are entering into. Most people play the normal 50-minute games of Valorant. I've never seen anyone do competitive Spike Rush before, so I think this might have been a nice change for some teams. Some teams maybe had a chance to maybe play something they hadn't played, so maybe they actually play more Spike Rush than they ever have in their whole Valorant career profile. But I just thank you for everyone that did sign up. This wasn't like an official, absolutely massively funded tournament, but thank you to all the teams that did turn up and that have played. We all hope you enjoyed yourselves very much, and thank you to our sponsors once again. Make sure to use that discount code to get yourself some cracked coffee, because I could do with one right now. They do have 3 different types of flavors, so if you don't like one, there's a chance you'll like the other. But yeah, thank you very much for Hazard for joining me on this wonderful Friday afternoon. There you go. Now you got the laser focus if you need level up energy or OP brain power. And looks like maybe Trident took the OP brain power there. If you don't like coffee, give it a try. It's okay. Crack Coffee may be a good place to start. Yeah, that's all from me. Don't know if you have any final words, Hazard, before we just wrap up here.
No real concluding thoughts. I think this is definitely a taste of what's yet to come from Viper, maybe even Pro Play, Masters, all of that kind of stuff. I haven't really played much of the patch yet myself, so seeing what Viper's capable of here makes me worried about getting back into my next ranked game. But without further ado, I think we'll be wrapping up here. If you want to keep an eye on the socials, we will be announcing the winner for that clip prize, #CrackMoments. So thank you to everybody for watching the tournament this afternoon. And yeah, thank you to Bayfish, thanks to Haribo on Observers as well, and everyone in the management team. So thanks for watching. Congratulations once again to Trident for winning our tournament, and we will see you guys next time.
I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. Colors all around, but I don't see anything but blue. Get lost in the sound, go back to the start. Let's go out of the dark. Let's go out of the dark. Into the light now.
Liason. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Liason. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna 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 turn it up and I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Give it to me like I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Give it to me like I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Liason. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna 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 turn it up I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Give it to me like I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Give it to me like Give it to me like, give it to me like, give it to me